Welcome to Don't Visit Europe, the place where your travel dreams don't just die, they get a severe, sun-drenched beating. Today we're plunging into the marble-clad hallucination, the feta-fueled nightmare, the picture-perfect delusion known as Greece. Greece, I hear you gasp, the birthplace of democracy, the sunsets, the ancient ruins, the food. Precisely, all of it, too much of it. It's as if history violently regurgitated itself onto a beach, then slapped a €25 fee on you to witness the aftermath. Let me elaborate. Greece isn't a country, it's a punishment masquerading as paradise. You arrive expecting Mamma Mia and leave humming Despacito after sharing a tour bus with a throng of perspiring backpackers from Barcelona. This is where mythology clashes with reality, and reality, my friends, gets absolutely pummeled. Craving the wisdom of Socrates? You'll get Nikos peddling €7 olive-shaped magnets instead. There's no middle ground in Greece. Everything is either breathtakingly beautiful or just plain breathtaking, like scaling 800 steps in Santorini while a donkey silently judges your cardiovascular fitness, or shelling out €16 for a coffee with a prime view of a column that's been in ruins since before Christianity was trending. It's a land of literal and emotional wreckage. Your legs will betray you, your wallet will abandon you, and your sense of direction? Poof, gone. Lost in the labyrinthine areas of Mykonos, one hand clutching a half-eaten gyros, the other desperately trying to silence Google Maps, screaming, recalculating. Yet somehow everyone's social media screams heaven, azure domes, golden hour glow, abs sculpted by the Aegean Sea. They conveniently omit the 2-hour ferry delays, the furious heat rash, or the Airbnb reeking of smoked octopus and profound disappointment. Greece is a scam, a venerable, stunning, utterly magnificent scam. It seduces you with timeless legends, traps you in its dizzying mazes, and slowly, surely, drains your very soul with its endless cobblestones and calamari. And guess what? You'll still want to go. You'll find yourself at 2 a.m. frantically searching for flights, whispering, but maybe I'll just do Athens and one island. You won't listen. None of us do. And that, my friends, is its insidious genius. So buckle up, pack your most resilient sandals, and bring an industrial-strength power bank, because today I'm going to reveal precisely why you should never visit Greece. And maybe, just maybe, I'll make you desperately want to go anyway. And hey, if you're already feeling a bead of sweat just thinking about it, smash that like button, subscribe for more terrible travel decisions, and drop a comment below. What's your favorite overpriced historical ruin? Let's commiserate.
Athens, the birthplace of democracy, and, quite possibly, the loudest moped you've ever heard at 3 a.m. This city is where the past literally crumbles around you while the present honks aggressively from behind. One second, you're standing on a 2,400-year-old stone where Socrates once held court. The next, a street vendor is yelling at you to buy a neon fidget spinner shaped like the Parthenon. Athens isn't just a city, it's a living contradiction. The food? Immaculate. The history? Unmatched. The urban planning? Clearly designed by a demigod on a caffeine binge. This is the kind of place where Google Maps throws its hands up and just says, good luck, follow the cats. And by the way, the cats run the show here. They sunbathe on ancient ruins, guard rooftop tavernas, and silently judge your fourth failed attempt to pronounce Kleftiko. It's the only capital in Europe where you'll feel both intellectually enlightened and utterly emotionally bankrupt in the same afternoon. Your shoes will practically melt into the scorching pavement. Your patience will evaporate on the overcrowded metro. But hey, at least you saw that one column. You know the one, the broken one. Spoiler, they're all broken. Athens doesn't try to impress you, it dares you to survive it. It's not polished like Paris, nor is it organized like Berlin. It's hot, it's loud, and it smells like a perplexing mix of oregano and gasoline. And that's before you even start the climb to the Acropolis. Let's brave it, shall we? The Acropolis. The Acropolis is the glorious, chaotic nexus where ancient democracy, modern tourism, and sheer dehydration violently collide. It's Greece's most iconic site, and arguably its most punishing. You'll be drenched in sweat before you even glimpse the ticket booth, and you'll seriously consider bartering your firstborn for a bottle of cold water, only to discover your timed entry slot is in 3 hours. Once you finally make it inside, what do you get? Stones. Glorious, expensive, ancient stones that you absolutely cannot touch, sit on, or photograph without at least 27 other bewildered tourists photobombing your shot. You'll be herded uphill in a slow-moving line of blinking, confused faces from every corner of the globe, all whispering some variation of, "Wait, is this it?" But then, just as despair sets in, the sun catches the Parthenon in that perfect golden light, and a blessed breeze finally finds you. You'll probably shed a tear, mostly from heat exhaustion, to be fair, but also undeniably from awe. Monastiraki Square. Welcome to the belly of the beast, Monastiraki Square. This is a full-blown sensory mosh pit where bustling flea markets, aromatic food stalls, and utterly bewildered backpackers spectacularly collide. It smells like perfectly grilled meat, heady incense, worn leather sandals, and just a hint of mild regret. One minute you're haggling with olives with a man who could be Zeus in a tank top, and the next you're being offered a full hookah experience by someone swearing it's authentic Greek. You'll hear 5 languages spoken simultaneously, spot a street performer juggling knives next to a church that's been standing since the 11th century, and you might even get pickpocketed by someone wearing a t-shirt that boldly declares, "Athens is my therapy." It's pure chaos. It's delightful clutter. It's capitalism draped in a toga. And somehow, it just works. Monastiraki is the loud, messy, and unapologetically beating heart of Athens, and you'll find yourself missing its beautiful insanity the second you leave.
Santorini, the island that launched 1,000 influencers and simultaneously ruined 1,000,000 knees. This is the Greece you've seen plastered across every screensaver, travel ad, and honeymoon mood board. Think whitewashed houses, iconic blue domes, and sunsets so ridiculously dramatic they'll make you want to propose to yourself. But here's the harsh truth. Santorini isn't just a destination. It's a trap. A beautiful, sun-drenched trap constructed entirely of endless stairs, blinding ring lights, and shockingly expensive €13 Aperol spritzes. There's no casual way to see Santorini. You don't stroll here. You ascend. You climb, you descend, then you climb all over again, all while expertly dodging influencers contorting themselves into yoga poses on private rooftops that are absolutely unequivocally not theirs. It's like being trapped inside a living museum, meticulously curated by Instagram's unforgiving algorithm. The very air on this island smells of overpriced sunscreen, genuine donkey sweat, and seafood you absolutely cannot afford. Your dream hotel might boast a caldera view, but it'll probably also lack hot water and provide exactly 4 towels for a group of 5. And yes, you'll snap at least 1,200 photos. All of the exact same damn church dome as every other tourist on the island. And those famous sunsets? Absolutely stunning, no doubt. But experiencing them comes with a side of sharp elbows to the ribs, blinding camera flashes to the eyes, and at least one person inevitably climbing a precarious wall to scream, "Woo!" just as the sun gracefully kisses the Aegean. Let's begin our descent into the madness where it concentrates best. Ouia. Ouia is often called the crown jewel of Santorini, and by crown, we mean a thorned headpiece of pure, unadulterated pain. Every single alleyway here is a meticulously staged photo op, and every pristine white wall is a battleground for influencer dominance. Expect to be gently shoved by a bride in a rented gown, nearly tripped by a photographer's assistant, and possibly yelled at by a Greek grandma whose private rooftop you inadvertently trespassed for the perfect shot. You'll evidently spot signs explicitly begging people not to climb walls. But tourists, bless their hearts, treat them like personal dares. You'll inevitably get stuck behind a couple attempting a 12-minute pre-sunset TikTok dance while your calves scream in agony from the 57 staircases you've conquered since lunch. And when that legendary sun finally begins its descent, prepare for absolute chaos. Hundreds of people, packed shoulder to shoulder, silently filming. There's no applause, no shared romantic sighs, just the soft, mechanical clicks of 1,000 cameras, all driven by desperation for the perfect shot. Fira. If Uya is the serene, albeit Instagram-obsessed elder sibling, then Fira is undoubtedly the party sister, louder, sweatier, and far more chaotic. This is where you come to shop, sweat, and immediately regret your dinner reservation. During the day, it's a bewildering maze of overpriced boutiques and surprisingly agile stray cats. By night, it transforms into a surging sea of bewildered cruise ship passengers, all collectively asking where they can find the donkeys. Here, the streets somehow manage to slope at angles that feel forbidden by international law. Every single corner of Fira wafts with a curious blend of expensive perfume and existential panic. Restaurants will cunningly lure you in with free dessert signs that mysteriously vanish into thin air the moment you actually place your order. And if you're truly lucky, you'll narrowly avoid the drunk tourist attempting to initiate a solo plate-smashing dance right next to your very expensive table. But don't you worry, there's a pharmacy every 30 meters. You'll need it. For your blisters. And more importantly, for your utterly shattered expectations.
Mykonos, the island that effortlessly makes you feel poor, sunburnt, and somehow perpetually underdressed all at the same time. This isn't just a party island, it's the party island. Think of it as the Ibiza of Greece, the Monaco of the Aegean. It's the kind of place where a beach club will sell you champagne by the liter and then charge you extra just to look at it. If Santorini is where you go to fake your honeymoon, Mykonos is where you go to fake your net worth. From the moment you arrive, prepare for an assault on your senses. Designer logos flashing, rental scooters weaving at breakneck speeds, and DJs with names like DJ Mythos, Godfather, dropping cringe-worthy remixes of 2013 Pitbull. There's a line outside every exclusive beach club, and let's be clear, none of them actually want you there. You're simply not fabulous enough. Your sandals, bless their honest souls, are far too authentic. But hey, the beaches are beautiful for precisely 90 seconds. That's just enough time before someone sets up a Bluetooth speaker, blaring techno, a dense vape cloud rolls in, and a literal champagne shower rains down onto your towel from the VIP deck above. Let's break it down one absurdly overpriced sunbed at a time. Paradise Beach. Paradise Beach isn't really a beach. It's a sound system with a side of sand. Picture this. You arrive at 10 a.m., optimistically hoping for a peaceful morning swim. Instead, you're immediately greeted by a man in neon swim trunks demanding 80 euros for a premium sunbed with a sliver of shade. You reluctantly agree because by this point, your willpower has already packed up and left. Then, precisely at 10:01 a.m., the music starts. By noon, you'll be utterly surrounded by bodies that appear genetically engineered by a luxury protein powder brand. A champagne train, yes, that's a genuine phenomenon here, rolls by and everyone cheers as someone spills 300 euros worth of Moet all over their perfectly toned chest, purely for the Instagram reels. The sea sparkles invitingly in the distance, but oddly, no one's actually in it. Too many expensive filler appointments to risk water damage, apparently. And if you think you'll sneak in a nap, think again. The relentless bass will vibrate your spine into another dimension entirely. Little Venice. Now, if you're seeking something quaint, something romantic, you'll be pointed towards Little Venice. This is Mykonos' iconic corner, famous for its picturesque pastel buildings perched precariously over the Aegean Sea. And yes, it is charming, but it's also a full-blown war zone of elbows, sticky espresso martinis, and cringe-worthy Instagram couples attempting to reenact that kiss scene from Mamma Mia.
badly. Every single cafe here boasts a sunset view, and naturally a minimum spend that's probably higher than your monthly rent. The waves crash against the terraces with poetic timing, occasionally splashing your feet, and your $14 cocktail. You'll spend a solid 45 minutes patiently waiting for a seat, and then another 3 hours meticulously calculating how a simple pasta dish ended up costing 39 euros. By the time the sun finally dips below the horizon, you'll be sticky, salty, and emotionally hollow. But hey, at least the pictures will look absolutely amazing.
Thessaloniki, Greece's vibrant second city, where history meets hustle and your coffee ritual quickly descends into glorious chaos. Unlike Athens' relentless pursuit of ancient glory, Thessaloniki feels like that cool cousin who still hasn't cleaned their room, a little rough around the edges, undeniably rebellious, and absolutely dripping with character. It's a place where one minute you're admiring crumbling Byzantine walls, and the next you're dodging scooters that clearly have zero chill. They own these streets. The city hums with a youthful energy, fueled by thousands of students who treat every street corner like their personal dance floor. Expect loud music, even louder laughter, and an underlying vibe of, we don't really care if you're a tourist, that surprisingly feels oddly welcoming. But don't be fooled, Thessaloniki has its own brand of tourist traps, and they bite. From overpriced coffee frappes that taste like watered-down disappointment to vendors hawking authentic worry beads that probably came straight from a factory. The charm starts to wear thin as your wallet mysteriously lightens. Still, the city's infectious vibe might just get to you. You might find yourself lingering a little too long over a questionable tzatziki, watching the sunset paint the Thermaic Gulf in hues of orange and purple, thinking, maybe this city isn't so bad, right up until my phone gets pickpocketed. The White Tower. The White Tower stands as Thessaloniki's undisputed icon, a formidable fortress, a surprisingly decent museum, and more importantly, a prime spot to witness tourists attempting to look cultured while simultaneously sweating through every layer of clothing. It's also your best bet for catching that elusive sea breeze if you're lucky enough to navigate the dense swarm of street vendors hawking every kitschy souvenir imaginable. Climbing to the top promises those coveted panoramic views, but also a brutal reality check. The city sprawls below in all its gritty glory, historical weight, and mild, endearing chaos laid bare. Beware the seemingly endless queues and the spontaneous guided tours where the guide's Greek accent and rapid-fire delivery will leave you desperately Googling, "What did he just say?" It's picturesque, undeniably exhausting, and definitely worth the Instagram post, if only to subtly humble your followers who've only ever seen Santorini's impossibly perfect sunsets. Loudest district. Once a gritty, no-nonsense port district, Loudest has undergone a radical transformation into Thessaloniki's pulsating nightlife hub. Neon lights hum above narrow, cobblestone streets, absolutely packed with bustling bars, traditional tavernas, and countless tourists who haven't quite figured out the delicate balance between epic party and crushing hangover. The food here is genuinely good, but be warned, expect waiters with zero patience for indecision and music blasting at volumes loud enough to make you scream your dinner order. The real challenge in Loudest is successfully finding your way out before 3 a.m. and skillfully avoiding that one persistent guy who insists on selling you a traditional pendant made of, well, who knows what. Loudest is where you either forge your legend as a local hero of the night, or more likely become a cautionary tale whispered among future backpackers. So bring your absolute best stamina, and for the love of all that is holy, a thick wallet.
Heraklion, the bustling gateway to Crete, where ancient myths get tangled with modern madness.
It's a city that promises sun-drenched beaches and Minoan mysteries, but often delivers long queues, relentless hawkers, and enough souvenir shops to fuel a small economy. You come for Knossos, the legendary palace of King Minos and the Minotaur's labyrinth, expecting a magical journey back in time. Instead, you get scorching heat, a crowd of tourists playing selfie Olympics, and a gift shop that's somehow bigger than the palace itself. Heraklion's charm is like a stubborn mule. It's there, but it might kick you if you're not careful. The streets buzz with scooters, dogs, and vendors yelling in Greek, a language you don't speak, but definitely feel overwhelmed by. And then there's the old market, a chaotic maze of stalls selling everything from olives to knockoff designer bags. It's a place where you bargain, get distracted by the scent of fresh herbs, and try desperately to avoid a pigeon that seems hell-bent on making you its next target. Despite the chaos, there's a rugged beauty here, a feeling that beneath the tourist traps, Crete's heart still beats loud and proud. Knossos Palace. Knossos is the crown jewel of Cretan history, but don't let that fool you into thinking it's all grandeur and mystery. It's a sprawling ruin with enough sun exposure to fry an egg on a rock, and crowds competing for the perfect selfie spot next to a mural. The guided tours are a blur of facts you'll forget and names you can't pronounce. The labyrinth legend sounds more like a nightmare when you realize the gift shop waits at every exit, like a minotaur guarding overpriced fridge magnets. Wear sunscreen, bring water, and prepare to sweat through your ancient Greek hero cosplay. Heraklion Old Market. The Old Market is a sensory overload. The scent of spices, the calls of vendors, the clash of colors from woven baskets to fake watches. You'll try to haggle like a pro, only to realize you're probably overpaying anyway. Expect to get lost in narrow alleys lined with shops selling everything from hand-carved olive wood to tourist traps disguised as authentic Cretan products. The pigeons here have no respect for personal space and seem to view every visitor as a free buffet. It's messy, loud, and frustrating, but somehow that's part of the experience. If you survive the market, you might just earn your unofficial badge of honor as a real Cretan tourist. And so, our Greek tragedy, disguised as a travel guide, concludes. So here we are, at the end of our journey through Greece, a Greece where ancient ruins crumble faster than your patience, sunsets come with the side of elbow jabs, and donkeys somehow possess more stamina than you ever will. You've survived Athens' chaotic charm, endured Santorini's influencer gauntlet, navigated Mykonos' glittery mayhem, embraced Thessaloniki's youthful hustle, and braved Heraklion's labyrinthine madness. Congratulations! You're practically a gladiator now, albeit one who complains a lot and needs frequent naps in cafes. But here's the twist. The unexpected plot development in our sun-drenched drama. Despite all the sweat, the subtle scams, the undeniably overpriced feta, and the seemingly endless stares, you're probably still going to want to go. Because beneath the chaos, the dust, and the very obvious tourist traps, Greece holds a strange, undeniable kind of magic. Maybe it's the history that whispers ancient tales from every stone, or the sunsets that possess an almost mystical power to make you forget every single blister. Perhaps it's the food, the wine, or simply that wonderfully stubborn Greek spirit that absolutely refuses to be tamed. So if you've made it this far, if you're now itching to book that ticket despite every single warning, then go ahead. Visit Greece. Just don't say I didn't warn you. Before you dive headfirst into your next disaster holiday, hit that like button, subscribe for more brutally honest travel tales, and comment below. What's the worst tourist trap you've ever fallen for? Let's share the pain and laugh about it together.